the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow.
Zazu is Scar's secret ally, and I have proof for you. Zazu? Scar's secret ally? That sounds like something straight out of a fanfic, right? The loyal hornbill, always fluttering around shouting, "Your Majesty!" teaming up with the lion who wanted to kill the king and steal the throne. Madness. But stay with me. Before you throw me off Pride Rock for even suggesting this, you need to know that this isn't just some wild theory. If you really pay attention to the films, especially the original 1994 Lion King, some things start to look a little suspicious. Today, we're digging into The Lion King, scene by scene, line by line, and asking the uncomfortable question, was Zazu unknowingly or knowingly helping Scar? Because once you start noticing the little things, it's hard to unsee them. Firstly, did you notice that Zazu was always around, yet never truly helpful?
Good morning, sire.
Good morning, Zazu.
Checking in with the morning report.
Fire away.
Zazu is supposed to be Mufasa's eyes and ears, right? The loyal advisor. The high-flying snitch who'd spot trouble before it even reached the savannah. But tell me this, where was Zazu when Scar was actively plotting Simba's death? Where was he when Scar lured Simba to the elephant graveyard? Or when Scar led Mufasa to his doom in the gorge? For someone who prides himself on keeping things in order, Zazu seemed remarkably uninformed when it mattered most. Either he was slacking on the job, or he was deliberately turning a blind eye. Zazu was with Simba and Nala on their way to the elephant graveyard. He literally had a front row seat to the kids ditching him.
So where are we really going? An elephant graveyard. Wow!
Now, the elephant graveyard isn't just some random part of the savannah. It's a forbidden zone, a royal no-go area. Zazu says so himself. And yet, after getting left behind by two cubs who are notoriously slippery and prone to mischief, it took him a strangely long time to catch up. He's a bird, a royal advisor, and he knows Simba's antics better than anyone. You'd think he'd be watching them like a hawk, no pun intended. But instead, he conveniently shows up after the kids have already wandered deep into danger. And when the hyenas attack, he gets captured too. Zazu sure was uncharacteristically ineffective at preventing this obvious setup. Was he just out of his depth? Or was he turning a blind eye? But that's not all. Remember when Zazu interrupts Scar at the beginning of the movie, saying, "Didn't your mother ever tell you not to play with your food?" He acts like it's just witty banter, but the scene has a strange undertone. Scar snarls, threatens him, and Zazu just brushes it off like it's normal. Why? Because maybe it was normal. Maybe Scar and Zazu had more private interactions than we thought. Maybe their banter wasn't rivalry, it was familiarity. Let's really break this down. Zazu walks in on Scar holding a mouse in his claws, clearly about to kill it. And what does he do? He makes a joke, he doesn't panic, he doesn't even act surprised. That's not the reaction of someone who's intimidated by Scar. That's the reaction of someone who knows Scar well. Too well, perhaps. At that moment, he didn't really show a sense of shock or fear until Mufasa showed up. It's almost like they've done this before. Maybe Zazu had something to gain from staying on Scar's good side. Maybe he was walking a delicate line, serving both brothers while hedging his bets for the future. After all, Zazu is all about structure, order, and survival. If Scar were to take the throne, wouldn't it make sense for Zazu to ensure he still had a seat at the royal table? Something else that many people missed was the fact that Zazu never really questioned Scar's rise to power. After Mufasa dies and Simba disappears, Scar takes the throne. Zazu, Mufasa's trusted advisor, should have been furious, suspicious, grieving, but nope. He's still there, perched next to Scar, singing, Nobody knows the trouble I've seen like a defeated old bird in a cage. Sure, Scar imprisoned him, but Zazu stayed. Why not fly off and warn someone? Why not escape and find Simba? Why not do something? It's as if he accepted Scar's rule far too quickly, as if he knew it was coming. And let's not forget how fast Scar took over. Within what felt like days, the entire power structure had shifted. Zazu, who once sat beside Mufasa during official matters of state, is now cracking jokes from a cage. But if he was truly loyal to the former king, wouldn't he be plotting revenge? Wouldn't he be stirring rebellion with the lionesses, or at least trying to keep the pride's spirits up? Instead, he gives up without a peep. Strange, right? Let's not underestimate Zazu here. He's not just comic relief. He was appointed by Mufasa for a reason. He's intelligent, observant, and calculated. And yet, when Pride Rock is taken over by literal hyenas and everything is falling apart, Zazu just sighs and sings spirituals. He doesn't resist. He doesn't flee. He doesn't gather support from the lionesses or try to protect Sarabi. He doesn't even attempt to escape captivity until Simba returns. And let's be honest, that ribcage prison didn't exactly have Fort Knox level security. We've seen Zazu fly with incredible agility and precision, yet for years he just sits in that bone cage like a forgotten pet. That's not just compliance, that seems like acceptance. What if Zazu wasn't truly imprisoned at all? What if he was just playing his part in public, pretending to be powerless, while quietly helping Scar maintain the illusion of order in a crumbling kingdom? It's a chilling idea, but it fits. What if the cage was symbolic? What if Zazu's imprisonment was just for show? A way to make it look like Scar had him under control, when in fact he was exactly where he wanted to be. And let's remember, Zazu is a master of diplomacy. He knows how to play politics. If pretending to be Scar's prisoner meant he could survive the hyena rule and still be around when the winds of power shifted again, wouldn't he do it? He's not a fighter like Mufasa. He's not a dreamer like Simba. Zazu is a survivor. It's also worthy to note that Zazu was too loyal to the throne. Here's the thing. Zazu's loyalty was never really to Mufasa. It was to the crown. He serves the king, whoever wears the title. Scar becomes king. Zazu's still there. Simba returns and reclaims the throne. Zazu's still there, always advising, always hovering, always adapting. You ever notice how he never risks his feathers for anyone personally? He follows protocol, sticks to the rules. That kind of blind loyalty makes him the perfect pawn or partner for someone like Scar. In fact, Zazu's obsession with order may have blinded him to what was right. He seems like the type who would rather serve a corrupt king than face the chaos of rebellion. Even when the Pride Lands are decaying and the lions are starving, he remains the loyal advisor, singing, reporting, sticking to formality. He never once sides with Nala, Sarabi, or any of the lionesses who clearly see Scar for the tyrant he is. Why? Because Zazu wasn't built for revolution. He was built for regime. Back to the big question. Is Zazu a traitor? Now, don't get me wrong, I love Zazu. He's hilarious. He's classy. He's got those dry British one-liners that somehow make even impending doom sound charming. But when you watch the films again, there's just enough weirdness to make you wonder. Did he knowingly help Scar? Probably not. But did he unwittingly aid the enemy by being too loyal to the system and too blind to Scar's schemes? Maybe. And maybe, just maybe, he was a little more complicit than we ever realized. Whether Zazu was Scar's pawn, partner, or just too stuck in his ways, one thing is clear: loyalty without wisdom can be dangerous. And in the grand story of the Pride Lands, even a bird can tip the balance of power. Zazu might not be the harmless, flustered bird we all thought he was. He might just be the Pride Land's most unsuspecting double agent.